1460 WVOX.
Now back to the Greenburgh Report on 1460 WVOX. Once again, here's Greenburgh Town Supervisor Paul Feiner.
Good morning. I'm Paul Feiner. I'm the Greenburgh Town Supervisor, and we have a special guest today, Jennifer Glen. And Jennifer Glen is leading an effort to get an important road repaved, a road in Elmsford that's owned by the state and maintained by the state, or not maintained by the state, Mill River Road. So Jennifer, could you tell us more about the petition?
Yes. So my petition, it's on change.org, and as of now it has 1,421 signatures. So I initiated this petition like at the end of July, so not too long ago, and it quickly got traction. And I started it because also one of the main reasons, because during the pandemic, I had reached out to New York State Department of Transportation, the Region 8, about this road and, whether it's going to get milled and repaved. And all they would say was that there was no money in their budget. And it couldn't, it was not really a main priority at this time. And that they were just monitoring it. But it wasn't like a main priority. But I can read some of what I wrote on the petition.
Yeah, that would be great.
So I wrote, Sawmill River Road 9A is in horrible condition and needs desperate attention. It is of great concern to myself and other fellow residents of the area. 9A, Sawmill River Road, Village of Elmsford, Town of Greenburgh, from the Teamster Building all the way down to the Westchester Skating Academy, both northbound and southbound area roads. They're completely hazardous due to excessive potholes and road erosion along this road. This poses risk to drivers, cyclists, and pedestrians. Also, at the expense of residents, vehicle tires, suspensions, etc. have been damaged as well. I have pushed relentlessly to Region 8, New York State DOT, and they state that it's not a priority at this time, and it doesn't make the cut for their capital project. Myself and many others are baffled and affronted on this decision. During inclement weather, risk heightens due to these decaying roads. This also negatively affects the quality of life of current residents and visitors of the area. I can attest to this hazard because family, friends, myself, and fellow constituents frequently drive on this road. I kindly request for this to be a top priority of the New York State DOT to rectify this situation that is long overdue. Many ask, why after so many years, how come absolutely nothing has come into fruition? Given to how high taxes are in the area, and this is a substandard road that residents are kept with, I implore for New York State DOT, New York State elected officials, Governor Hochul, Lieutenant Governor Delgado to expedite the milling and repaving of 9A in Elmsford and Greenburgh. I appreciate that the more residents that sign this petition, the stronger this petition will be, and we can propel this necessary project forward. Let us propagate this information to all and make it happen. Thank you in advance.
That is great. How did you get over 1,400 people to sign a petition? Because it's, I would think that it's hard to get the word out.
Well, I have a lot of family and friends on my Facebook, so I think that kind of helped. That cascade of like one person sharing it. And then also a lot of people, so on change.org, you can actually like put in money, like pay if you want to make it more like change.org, like pays for the advertisement, like for it to be like sent out to more people or to be more visible on social media platforms. And so I think that's what happened, because when I look here at my thing, almost $500 like in total were like donated from different people that signed the petition. Like this doesn't go, and I put a disclaimer as well on my thing, on my petition. I was told by the Senate's office to put this in the disclaimer so that people don't think that it's going like to the state or, to me or right. anything. But I put a disclaimer that any monies donated to this petition goes directly to change.org to promote this petition more on platforms and emails to acquire more signatures. So nothing goes towards me at all. This is all volunteer based out of my passion and kindness of my heart, but nothing goes towards me at all. Like, so the time and, the efforts that I've put in is just because I want to.
Was it very time consuming?
Oh yes, I think especially in the beginning to pick up, I was trying to get the momentum going. Like when I saw like a lot of signatures, I started emailing a lot of businesses and elected officials in the area. I even would email like board of trustees of like different villages, so like at night, like after school, like even though I was like tired, I was like, let me go online and send all these emails to like different mayors, and I was like, I emailed like mayors of like Terrytown, Sleepy Hollow, Mount Pleasant, Ardsley, everything. Obviously Elmsford, like Mayor Williams was one of the first people to really endorse my petition because we had exchanged emails about it, and he was like, "Nope, I'm not getting anywhere either." So I told him I was going to do a petition, and he was on board. He was like, "Excellent. I'm so proud of you for starting this." And I was able to even meet with Senator Cousins. So I'm cautiously, optimistic that, things are going in the right direction, with this because it's caught a lot of people's attention, the press and things like that. So, I pray that this, goes in the right direction and gets rectified.
Did you get any support from your church?
Oh, yeah. A lot of people, my pastor signed, a lot of people from the congregation signed.
And the name of the congregation again?
It's called First Community Church of the Nazarene. It's on 2101 Sawmill River Road. So it's on the same exact road that I'm trying to get milled and repaved.
Wow. So they must be so proud of you. Are you very involved with your church?
Yes, I'm actually part of their young adult committee. I'm on the board. So we is this on?
Yeah.
Oh, I couldn't hear myself for a second, but every Thursday like we meet for like an hour after Bible study, and we kind of go over different events. How can we be involved in the community? Like food drives and just trying to be active, like events, how we can fellowship together. And things like that. So I'm very active in the church. I go to church service every Sunday.
That's great. And it's really nice that the congregation is helping you succeed, because I think this really also generates more momentum, because if the state knows that a prominent congregation is also concerned about it, it's another factor that will encourage them to expedite the repaving of the road.
Yeah, a lot of our members of our church live in the town of Greenburgh and the village of Elmsford and the surrounding areas. So they have to, they have no other option than to drive on that road to get to church.
And could you tell us a little bit about the meeting you had with Senator Cousins? Were you nervous meeting the majority leader of the state Senate?
Oh, yes. Never in my life have I ever been in a meeting with any outstanding, citizens or senators or congressmen or anything. Like I've never met. So to me, I was like very nervous. Like I woke up early that day and made sure I got there on time to her district's office. Somewhat. I was kind of nervous, especially as a young woman in my 20s. Like everyone there, that was like her and her staff. Everyone's older, more wisdom, more knowledgeable in that realm. So I'm in like my 20s and I'm like, I don't know anything about politics or anything about like infrastructure. I just want to get this done. So to me, I was like, I hope they don't throw questions at me where I'm like, I don't know what to say.
Right. And, I got an email from the state, maybe 2 weeks ago or something, indicating that they're inclined to repave the road, by October of next year. So, it's not like official, but it seems like the state DOT, Department of Transportation, is taking steps to plan for the repaving. So it seems like you're being heard, and you should be really proud of yourself, because it's hard to be heard, for one citizen to be heard and to really make a difference. I wonder if you feel if this has changed your impression of government. The fact that do you feel now that citizens can be heard, can be listened to, and it's not only a road repaving, but it could be many other things that people are concerned about.
Oh, yes, I agree. I think, especially as a young person, I had so many people like thank me like through email. I even had the assistant chief of the fire department in my hometown village of Elmsford thank me. And I was bawling when I read the email because as someone who's an aspiring physician and has, done so many internships with COVID and at Columbia University Medical Center at Massachusetts General Hospital, like in the ER and in the oncology units. So I've worked a lot with patients, and in the email, I can actually read it to you. And I was, to me, that a citizen can make an impact, I think, speaks volumes in itself, where hopefully this motivates, other people to take initiative. Like, don't be scared. There's, I know some people, it's difficult to put yourself out there. But I don't know. I was never really like afraid of that. So, hold on, give me a second. But I guess I wanted to read it verbatim.
We have to take a break so we could read it right after the break.
Okay, got it.
That's good. Perfect. I'm Paul Feiner with Jennifer Glen, and she's a role model for citizen activists. And she's really making a big difference, and we're talking about what she did. I'm Paul Feiner, Greenburgh Town Supervisor, and we'll be back in a couple minutes.
WVOX. Now back to the Greenburgh Report on 1460 WVOX. Once again, here's Greenburgh Town Supervisor Paul Feiner.
Good morning, Westchester. I'm Paul Feiner. My guest is Jennifer Glen, and Jennifer Glen is a citizen activist and an aspiring doctor, and she's telling us about her efforts, which seems to be moving in the right direction to persuade the state to repave a road that hasn't been maintained, Sawmill River Road in Elmsford. And you want to read a thank you letter from an important community member?
Yes. So I received an email from the assistant chief of the Elmsford Fire Department, and he wrote, "Good afternoon. Thank you so much for your hard work in your efforts of getting 9A repaved. It has been very difficult driving our fire trucks and ambulances on Route 9A. The rides were so hard on our patients that no matter how slow we went, this is going to help us tremendously to help those in need. Best regards."
That is fabulous. And the mayor of Elmsford has also been supportive.
Yes, he's been very supportive, and he tells me that he's very proud of me. And so it's just overall, I'm just very passionate and just very thankful. Like, it makes me cry knowing like I can make an impact in my community. Like, I've done so many other things in the past, but this is very different from all the other accomplishments and things that I've done. Like, I've done, research, medical research at Columbia University Medical Center, like with nuclear cardiology and, with focusing on patients of color, such as Hispanic and African American. So like for me, seeing an email like this where patients are going to benefit from this, where they're not experiencing a bumpy and, painful journey to the ER or to the hospital or wherever they're going, really, I was in awe seeing that impact. So.
That is great. And Greenburgh is becoming a much larger Hispanic community, Elmsford. So you're an inspiration to the Hispanic community to get more involved. I was thinking of Maria Portilla. She is our Hispanic liaison, and Channel 7 is going to be doing a feature on her. So I think I'm going to contact Channel 7 and talk about your role, not as like a social worker, but your role as a community activist. And maybe they could also profile your efforts. So now I have as a result, I have of this interview, I'm going to reach out to them. Could you were there people who commented on your petition?
Oh, yes. So there was a numerous amount of comments on the online petition that I created. And there was one that really kind of sums it up, and where it shows how a resident is just fed up. So this is a resident, and her name is Jennifer Sims. She states, they say it's not in their budget. So instead, the damage it causes to our vehicles and other property is supposed to be in ours. The stretch of 9A in question contains numerous wheel-sized potholes, which are dangerous to both bicyclists and cars, and which temporary defect fixes. Gravel patches are easily removed from by the normal summer and winter storm conditions. It contains outdated, poorly maintained drainage systems which lead to flooding and cost to local businesses and disruption of the major local commute artery multiple times per year. If New York State wants towns to repair state roads for them, they can refund us some of our sizable tax burden back to do it. But playing political chicken with commuter safety and accumulating property damage is dysfunctional government.
That's great. Are there any other comments?
Yeah, some people write, highest taxes in the nation, worst road. We need leadership. Someone else also writes, no one wants to get flat tires because the roads are terrible. Another person writes, this road is a hazard to cars and to pedestrians that need to dodge cars, swerving from lane to lane and onto curbs to avoid damaging their vehicles. Somebody wrote, this road is terrible. There are a series of potholes west of Worthington Road that has taken out tires and rims. Nothing has been done, and they have been there for a long time. No shoulders, so impossible to avoid it. There's traffic coming the other way. Somebody else writes, it is important to have safe roads so that our community thrives. Let me see what other comments. This was actually surprising to me. Somebody wrote that Route 9A is in terrible condition and it hasn't been paved in decades. I didn't know that because I was born in the 90s, so I don't know what happened prior to that. But there was another comment that was really, I'm trying to look for it because there's so many. Somebody wrote, I drive through these roads all the time, and I have family that lives very near this. It's a very horrible road. It needs to be repaved. Some people write that it's a safety issue, for our children, especially those that are, on the school bus traveling to and from school and their errands. And some other people talk about how they pay, high taxes, and, this is the kind of road that they have to drive on, every single day.
Are there any, if you're successful at this, do you have any other follow-up initiatives that you want to work on after you succeed in getting the road repaved?
Yes, there was another thing that I was wondering about the bypass to kind of mitigate, I guess, the traffic from commercial trucks, because I know a couple years ago, maybe 2017, there was I don't know much about it because I was in college then. I was in Massachusetts, but I was reading articles about how they were trying to initiate the planning of a bypass on Warehouse Lane, so that, and I would like to kind of push that. I think it's in the preliminary stages.
It basically would be an alternative road for trucks, so this way you wouldn't have as much traffic congestion.
Exactly. It would be safer for our citizens and passenger vehicles, where you're not you're not stuck in traffic behind huge trucks. And I appreciate the truck drivers. They're the ones carrying pertinent materials, to Sam's Club, to warehouses, to construction materials. So I do appreciate that. It's not like that I have anything against them, but safety, I think, is such a big thing for me, especially in the world of medicine. I think medicine and safety come hand in hand.
And you're also working on trying to get a sidewalk built.
Oh, yes. So I've actually had numerous residents reach out to me on how they want a sidewalk, especially where kind of like where the Elmsford Little League Park is, that area, to like Parkview Avenue, I believe, like where the suburban manor section is, because a lot of kids in that area go to this Elmsford school districts, and so there's no sidewalk. So it's very, and it's I believe it's a 35 mile per hour road. So I've seen cars go really fast. So it's very hazardous for, our children to be walking on the shoulder of a road like that. It's an open road. So I think extending a sidewalk would be so beneficial. Because I know that car dealership, I think it's like Pepe or something, Cadillac, they were able to get a sidewalk when they constructed their lot. So I feel like it would be so beneficial to extend that, proliferate that sidewalk so that, students can go to and from in a safe manner where they're, and a lot of people have been emailing me about like, we want the Village of Elmsford, even business owner reached out to me. So there's like little other things, adding a crosswalk, because in Elmsford we have the South County Trail, the bike trail. So another family reached out to me that they would like a crosswalk to make it easy.
Great. We're running out of time, but thank you so much for joining us. And I think you're going to be a fantastic doctor, and I hope you're going to one day run for office.
Thank you so much for having me.
Good. I'm Paul Feiner. I'm Greenburgh Town Supervisor, and my guest has been Jennifer Glen. Thank you.